So what is the meaning of this statement? If there is some
There is
value in this
we have
importing
a record
parameter,
in
then do something. Otherwise, if there is no value, what we need to do? Else means there is no value. What we need to do?
importing parameter is initial.
What we
If
need to do if it is initial?
we have to pass variables.
Which variable? Which variable you have to pass?
Local variable LV.
Then I don't think you guys are able to understand the programs what we are discussing. I don't think you guys are following it. We did these kind of scenarios in our program. If there is a value in parameter and if there is no value in the parameter, what we are doing in the program level. If you go to at selection screen event, what we are doing? If there is no value in the parameter, what we are doing? We are returning error message, right?
Yes.
We have to pass message.
Okay. But in function modules, we cannot use messages. Okay. Instead of that, what we need to do? We have to raise exceptions. We have to write exceptions. For that, first we need to define the exception like this. For example, ex underscore empty input ex underscore no data found. Okay, I've defined two exceptions. That's it. Okay, now if in else condition, what you have to do? We have created exceptions, right? How to raise this name? Now, what is the sub-RC value after function module call? What is the sub-RC value if there is no input? Sub-RC value is 1 instead of 0. If there is no data in the function module, if you raise this exception, what is the sub-RC value? For this exception, sub-RC value is 2. For example, there is one more exception. For that, what is the sub-RC value?
3.
For this, the sub-RC value will be 3 if you raise this exception. This you can handle in the program level. Okay. We'll go to source code. Raise empty input exception. Instead of error message, we are raising a exception here so that we can handle this exception in program by checking the sub-RC. If sub-RC is 1, that means there is no input in the importing parameter. Okay. Also observe here, Is it an optional parameter or mandatory parameter for this function module? It is a mandatory parameter. Without this, you cannot execute the function module because we did not choose the optional here. If we choose optional here, input might be optional. You may or may not provide the input, but as long as it is mandatory, you should provide the input. Okay. Also, you can define importing parameters with optional also. Okay, like this. I'll make it as optional. I may or may not provide the input. Okay, go to source code. Now, if it is not initial means, okay, if there is a value in listener, I'm going to execute the select statement. Otherwise, why should I execute the select statement unnecessarily? Why should I connect with the database unnecessarily if there is no value in the importing parameter? Now, write our select statement. I'll just copy it from our program. I'm going to copy the same as it is. I'm going to copy here. What I did here, first I have written select statement on which one? EKKO. And then I have written select statement on EKPO. And then I am writing my select statement on MAKT. Okay. And in a final internal table, I am merging it. Actually, I am not using for all entries here. We should have used for all entry statement here. I am not using it. Okay. Here we are not, okay, looks like we are not using any where condition where bookers equal to, we'll take bookers only. We'll remove listener because we don't have data for this vendor. We'll take bookers only, company code only, right? I'll remove listener, that is vendor number. I'll make bookers as a mandatory value. Okay. Now I'll apply for all entries also. What are the conditions to use for all entry statement? What are the conditions to apply for all entry statement? Before applying for all entry statement, what should we make sure? What are the rules to be followed to use for all entry statement?
There should not be a duplicate record and it is sorted way, and they have must be record in before table. At least I have one record.
Okay. Now, so first we have to sort the header internal table, the first level internal table. By which one? By which field? What is the common field between EBLN and EBLP? Sorry, EKKO and EKPO.
EBLN.
EBLN is the common key. And then delete the adjacent duplicates. Comparing which field?
EBLN.
But never delete entries from the original internal table which we are using in the select statement, because to display the data in the final output we may lose some records. But for that, what you need to do, first copy this internal table data into a temporary internal table. That is like this. Define one more internal table with the same type, it underscore ekko underscore temp equal to
IT underscore EKK.
it underscore. Now we are copying ekko data into this temporary internal table and copy this temporary internal table.
Okay.
Okay, delete records from the temporary internal table, not from the original internal table. Okay, also use this temporary internal table in for all entry statement. For all entries in temporary table,
దాని కింద రాయాలను.
where what is the condition? EBLN equal to
Internal table of EKKO temp
hyphen
EBL.
okay. So that we are not disturbing the original records what we are selecting from the EKKO table, and we are applying all this on temporary table. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
again here we need to do the same for what is the header table for MAKT?
EKPO.
EKPO is the header table because material number we have it in EKPO, right? Do the same, sort the
Sort internal table of EKPO.
you can even you can sort the original table, or you can also sort temporary table. Before sorting itself, use this statement here. Use this statement here and even sort the temporary internal table, not the original one. Okay.
Okay.
Data it underscore
EKPO
emp equal to it underscore
internal
EKPO.
table of
Now what we are doing
EKPO.
here, whatever the records we have in EKPO, we are just copying it to another internal table. Okay. By what is the condition here?
By Matnar.
By Matner. We have to sort by Matner because what is the common field between EKPO and MAKT? Matner, right?
Matnar.
That's why we have to sort and delete the adjacent duplicates by Matner only.
Sort temporary table is missing.
Okay, okay.
Delete adjacent duplicate.
This temporary internal table comparing which field?
AVL. Matnar.
Matner. For all entries in
Table of EKPO temporary.
where Matner equal to, and why we are using this language key? For text tables, we should mandatorily use which one? Language key. Okay.
The Matnar is missing, sir. Where condition? No.
Matner. Okay. So let's check the syntax. So we have created all these three select statements for all these three internal tables. So what is the syntax? IM bookers must be escaped. Okay, escape character is missing since we are using inline declarations. So here also escape missing. Here also escape character is missing. So there is no syntax errors. So if there is no input, what we are doing? Raising a exception. Okay. Let's activate this. We are not returning the output yet. We are not. Are we returning any output to this exporting parameter? Are we returning any output here in this function module?
No, sir.
No, we just return the select statements. Now we have to merge the data and return the output. First, let's test the exception. Execute. Okay, I'm not entering any value here. So what is the exception it is raised?
0.
ex0 ex underscore empty input. It raised that exception. Here observe exceptions. Now I'm entering some value. I'm entering some value and execute. Do we have an exception now?
No,
We
runtimes.
don't have exception. Records are 0, that's okay, but we don't have exception. We don't enter the input, we are raising an exception. Now what we need to do? After selecting the data, what we are doing here? We are merging all these three internal tables into one final internal table. So we can just copy here, copy this. What is the type of this IT underscore final internal table here in the program? What is the data? What is the reference type for this IT underscore final internal table in the program? TY underscore final, right? Type structure, right?
Yes.
So we haven't changed anything. Everything is same, but only we have to define IT underscore final here. Since we are using TY type structure, right, in the program, now we have to define it. Data IT underscore final. What is the type of this IT underscore final? What is the type you have to use?
Set demo.
And
This one. You have created a structure, right, for this output.
Yes, sir.
Use that structure name, not the data table type, the structure. When you are using type standard table of WA underscore final type
Type.
that structure name,
Set demo. Structure.
not the table type, but the structure name. When you define using table type, let's say, now is it a work area or internal table? Is it a work area or internal table?
Okay.
No.
Internal table, sir.
When you
Table.
use type structure reference, when you use this table type reference, it's going to act as an internal table, not the work area. Okay.
Yes, sir.
If you take structure, then it is a work area. Now it is a work area. But when you take table type, even if you don't use standard table of, it's going to act as work area. Sorry, internal table. If you take table type, okay, you have to identify the difference. Clear? Now check the syntax. So no syntax errors found. what we need to do at the end, after the loop, move all the data to what is our exporting et underscore output, right? Output equal to it underscore final, right? Otherwise, you can directly append records to et underscore output here, because both are same types, right? W underscore final and et underscore output, same types, right? This one also et underscore, what is the type of et underscore output? This table type. With, okay, we have taken same structure reference to create the table type, right? You can directly append the data to exporting parameter, or you can first export data to final and populate the data to output here. Now let's test this. Enter some company code. I'll take 3000. I think there is company code 3000.
Yes, sir.
Looks like for company code 3000, there is only one record. Take 100, company code 100, 0. So what is the company code that have records? Let's try 3001. So for 3001 company code, we have 9 records, right?
Yes, sir.
Now our function module is working. Do you have any questions here? You know, right? What is read statement? Within the loop, we are using read statement. It is same code which you are using in the program. I did not change anything. Okay. Now call this function module in our program, in our PO data merge. Now I don't need this because I have created a structure for this, right?
Yes, sir.
I don't need this type structure. Otherwise, just copy this program instead of changing this. Copy this program. We'll use underscore FM. I'm copying all this. So instead of listener, I'll take company code. Bookers. And I don't need this. What is the type of this final now? The structure. We have created a structure, right? Instead of type structure, we can take a data dictionary structure reference. This is the structure, right? Now this structure can be reused in any number of programs, but type structure is only local to the same program. But this structure, you can use same structure to define internal tables, work areas, okay, in any program. It is global. Clear?
Okay.
Now I am going to remove everything until end loop. I am going to handle the functionality in function module. Go to pattern, call your function module, gdemo PO data. What is the input? pass p underscore bookers to importing parameter bookers. What is the type of this one? You should always careful before passing the importing parameters. You should observe, okay, what is the type of this importing parameter bookers? Okay, what is the type of the parameter you are passing in the program? P underscore bookers. What is the type? Bookers only, right? Same type, right? Then pass it. Enable uncomment the importing parameters. Uncomment the importing parameters and exceptions. Remove that star mark, right? P underscore bookers. So what is the uh, parameter you have to pass here for et underscore output? So it is returning the output, right, into program. It is calculating
Yes,
the
sir.
values and adding it to exporting parameter and returning the values records. To capture those records, which one we have to use here? What is the equivalent type for et underscore output? What is et underscore output type? It is this table type, right? Gdemo t underscore po data. What is the equivalent data object we have here in the table to capture those records? It underscore final, right? We defined that internal table with the same structure. Pass it here. Now, if sub r is equal to 1, then what does it mean? Else if sub r is equal to 2, then what does it mean? No data available in the tables. Is it going to return any exception for this no data available? Are we handling that exception? Are we raising that exception in function module? Are we raising no data exception in the function module? No, we are only raising invalid input exception. To raise that, let's write this condition. If what we'll do is if it underscore ekko is initial rise no data found exception. Okay. Else display some for all remaining exceptions. Sub r is equal to 1. If it is 0 is successful. 0 is if sub r is equal to 0, there is no issue in the function module. But when there is a exception, we have sub RC 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. 0 means no errors. Clear?
Else.
Else means all rest of the values, including 0. Don't use else. If you use else and raise the error message, it will consider 0 also. Sub RC 0 also, it will display error message. Sub RC 0 means it is successful, right?
So,
So provide the IT underscore final to demo output. Execute. Now we got the same output, right? But this is through function module. We have implemented source code. Now We have a similar requirement in a different program to select data from EKKO, EKPO tables based on company code and return the final output. Instead of writing all those select statements and loop logic, just call this function module and provide the importing parameter and exporting parameter and display the output. It is very easy, right? Just like this. I'm going to create a program real quick. FM2. So I'm creating a program to display PO data as output by company code. I have a similar requirement. Now what I have to do, what I'll do here, or call your function module. Go to pattern, call your function module and provide the importing parameter p underscore bookers. Provide the exporting parameter. Do we have an exporting parameter here? Define the exporting parameter, like to capture the values from exporting parameter. Data, IT underscore, output, type,
Output.
standard table of.
And that is
How can you
set
know?
demo.
How can you know what is the type you have to take? Just go to function module, exporting parameter and observe the type. What is the type here? Okay, they are using a table type. Copy this, use same one. If you use table type like this, now it's going to act as a internal table only. But if you are using structure, then you have to use type standard table of. Both are same. Okay. If you are, but if you are using table type, you don't need to use a standard table of. It will automatically it's going to define it as a internal table. Pass it. Handle the exceptions here. Okay. That's it. How much time it took for me to complete this functionality? Less than 2 minutes, right? If we make source code as reusable objects, we can reuse. It is very convenient and easy. Okay.